uitbranders, hulle dink hulle is vry. Die wolke wentel in die hemel, op die winde motorry. Dis vroeg in die dag, op Louwbergse strand, die wind gaan nog waai, die son gaan nog brand, maar is koel na die lang nacht, en ons gloed die dag. Goeiemôre my sonskyn, goeiemôre my kind. Kom ons draf langs die strand, kom ons ry op die wind. Die sand sal ons groei, en die strale sal brand. Maar dis vroeg in die dag, op Louwbergse strand. Daar is witgekalkte huise, en ou Tafelberg. Daar is hengelaars met stok en hoed, wat vroeg visse tuig. My pa sê my kind, ons moet swat mos.
Well, here we are again, DJVSA radio. This is so exciting, I can hardly contain myself. And this is Errol Ballen, coming to you live from our studios in Jerusalem. A big thank you to Ari Lewis for producing the show. And I would just like to say that the beginning was incredible as I reached a whole new level of professionalism. So now you know exactly what happens in the background. And boy, but I wasn't embarrassed because I'm going to pretend that was done on purpose. Now, before we go on to our special guest and the various other bits and pieces, I would just like to say that hopefully on Thursday, we are going to have a very, very special podcast-only show on DJVSA radio. And it is not a show that we're going to feel sorry for anybody or show pity for anybody, because it is a show and we're calling it celebration. It is a celebration of rebirth. It is a celebration of human strength. It is a celebration of a discovery of spirituality. It is a celebration of discovery of an incredible talent. It is a coming home story. It is a happy story, and it is an end or the beginning of a very good phase in people's lives. And we are going to chat to the various parties involved and really enjoy it and find out the whole story and in just celebrate what is so good for us. So we will do that hopefully on Thursday, so please stay tuned for that. Now, we are going to have Jeff, and as everybody heard, it was supposed to be a secret, but everybody heard that he's on the line, and we are going to have him answering some of the stories. And you see, he came on the show last week as a big hero and a pioneer and a good guy, and he sort of swaggered onto the show, and we were determined to expose him for what he is. And you know what? He's exactly that. He's a pioneer. He's a good guy, and I'm beginning to like him. In fact, one person remarked in the hundreds and thousands of remarks that we got that she loves me on radio Frokie, and now that she's heard Jeff, she thinks she loves him too. And she asked me not to mention her name, so Joan Zawarski, I will never mention your name. Now, Jeff, for the second time, and now in a professional manner, are you there?
Hello, Errol.
Oh, so you're there, great. Now,
yeah, man.
Now, I just want to say that, we were hoping for a bit of work for Beverly in as far as complaints and negative remarks and so on. Can you tell me, unless because you're an admin and maybe you blocked them, but how come there wasn't one negative remark? There is a negative aspect, but we'll get to that now. But there wasn't one negative aspect given on all the comments on DJVSA radio. Were you involved with the rubbing out of the bad things?
Well, I told Bev to only tell me the good things, so you need to ask her that.
Well, I don't know. I've been scouring the page and looking for something just slightly negative, and everybody says now that they know you, they love you, and they understand you, and all good things. And this is not fair, because I was hoping to be the star of the show, and you kind of stole my thunder. But anyway, I will forgive you for that.
It must be the singing.
Yeah. No, we'll get to that now, because that's the one thing that I've picked up that I may need to address. We have seen photographs as we put together with the video that we produced, and we saw quite a bit of photographs of you as a little picky, and then growing up and so on. But I just got a comment. Were you always very tiny? Gee, you're a small guy.
Yeah, no, I've always been. Always.
And
I'm not actually that. You know what? I'm not actually that short though. I just stand deep in my shoes.
Oh, I understand. Now I thought maybe you were standing in a pothole in the road or something. each photograph. But gee, you're a small guy. But I see some of the photographs, and you were a well-built guy, and a handsome guy, and I'm sure that you were fighting off women at every given moment, and that was also part of the learning curve for us. We learned all about you. Now, I would just like to say that people people that are listening on Israel Sports Radio to this broadcast can click on the listen live or the chat live. They were listening live already, the chat live, and they can send in comments and questions for Jeff or for myself, preferably for Jeff, because I can't handle tricky questions. And I would just like to say hello to Beverly Devimos, who is already sent in a message saying that she's enjoying the show, and this is too wonderful for words. Now, before we get to the singing aspect, I would just like to say that we just like to acknowledge our very generous sponsors, Samantha Devimos. How was that? I got it right. Samantha Devimos Jewelry. Really, really good money. I mean, even the name Samantha Devimos just conjures up jewelry and beauty and so on. And of course, Eastgate Stamps and Coins. And if you look at that name, that really says Stamps and Coins. So support them, and we appreciate their support for us. Now, Jeff, the one aspect that I found a little bit negative is that nobody commented on your singing other than to say they heard it.
No, that's not right, eh?
No. Yes, but you see, I think that the whole problem is that perhaps, look, your singing was wonderful. It was marvelous. It was moving. It was melodic, but it lacked a certain resonance that showed that you perhaps were just a person who sings in the showers and didn't have the shall we say the professional touch that perhaps somebody like me has got. And I've been involved for many years. I've taught many people like Luciano Pavarotti and Cliff Richard and other singers. So I would like, live on air, to give you a very brief singing lesson.
Okay, that's a good.
And I think this will hold you in good stead for the rest of your life, because every time you come on the radio, which will be very often, I hope, then you can just... We can't play an opening song or anything. You can just sing, and that'll be really marvelous. So I think we're going to take your favorite song, which is Oor 'n Ryperd. No. It is Oor die Donkey, because that was your first selection. So now, first of all, I would like you to stand up because we need to open your diaphragm. So, all right, are you standing? Are you standing? Okay. You haven't got a cigarette burning at the moment. Everything.
No, just put it up.
Good. So you're standing. Okay. I'll also hang on. Right. I'm standing as well because I like to identify with my pupils when I teach them singing. Okay. Now, very important is the beginning of I think that's Ari Lewis's mother-in-law calling in, telling her that she's enjoying the show. Now, we need to, first of all, the first word of the song, because the song is Oor die Donkie. Now, very important is that Oor is very important. So open your diaphragm and then sing it out loud so that just that word, so we can get that right. That's the beginning of the song. So it's not just Oor die Donkie like you did last time, which was nice. But so we must say Oor and let it flow and let it come out so that people pay attention. All right, let's hear your Oor.
Oor.
All right, good stuff. I don't know. You're a pupil that I can't believe this is a thing. And then the next one is die Donkie. So now you don't emphasize donkey because we're all embarrassed about the donkey. So we say Oor die Donkie. Let's try the die Donkie.
Oor die Donkie.
Very good, very good, very good. Please don't lose your tone and allow it to come up through your diaphragm, into your throat, past your adenoids and out your mouth. Okay, and you must enunciate and cast your voice forward, right? I'm very pleased with it so far. Now,
Oor die Donkie.
You see, already you're out of control. You're out of control. You've got a new talent and it's very good. Now, us, a wonderlike ding is the next thing. And so us is not important, but wonderlik is very important. So us wonderlike ding. Let's go. Okay, let's have that whole line now. Let's go.
Oor die Donkie is a wonderlike ding.
Okay, whoa, stop. Very good. Very good, very good. A little bit more adenoid, a little bit more through the nose, and especially the oor. But I think you are doing very well now. We'll just use one of the very moving, the very meaningful lines of the song, and it's Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant. Now, these words you must enunciate so that that everybody knows that your pronunciation is right. So Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant.
All right, so it's Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant. Let's hear it.
Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant.
Okay, whoa, don't go mad. Now, all right, so now let's have the whole thing. Oor die donkie is 'n wonderlike ding. Hy rol in die sand en hy eet koerant. Oor die donkie is 'n wonderlike ding. Jeff, none other than Jeff Nathan singing Oor die donkie. Let's go.
Oor die donkie is 'n wonderlike ding. Hy rol in die sand en hy wat?
Eet koerant. Eet koerant. Hier is newspaper.
Eet koerant.
Yeah.
Die donkie is 'n wonderlike ding.
Right. I think that is absolutely marvelous and moving.
There's another nice song that we,
Yes.
I don't know if you remember this one. Goeiemôre my vrou, hier's 'n swentjie vir jou. Goeiemôre my man, daar is koffie in die kan. Ek hou van 'n vrou wat die kettel aan die kook hou vir 'n koppietjie KWV.
For a kopiekie KWV.
KWV, that was Desert Dawn Lindbergh, if you remember that.
Whoa, I don't know. Do you want to perhaps do a little thing about Nelson the Seagull, or is that beyond your range of?
That's beyond,
Okay, we'll understand. Well, I'm sure that we are going to get many requests for you to sing in future programs, and I, Jeff, must just express how proud I am of you and your singing prowess. And I think we've uncovered a talent. Is such a small word. Now, back to the mundane reality of things. One of the main reactions that we've had is that your warmth and your your genuineness, if I can call it that, comes through. And I felt that as well while chatting to you last week. It was so it was so natural and so warm, and it wasn't a pretend thing that thing. Now I know it's a bit of a stupid question, but do you, if I can ask, do you always feel like that, or is it something that you've just this persona that you've created for your public?
I am who I am. You know, what you see is what you get. There's no bullshit. You know.
Yeah. Luckily, we don't fall under the censorship of the South African government. Otherwise, now we would be bleeped out. But yes,
we're on the radio. Yeah.
How did you forget?
No, I thought I'm chatting to you at home, man. You know, this is.
Yeah, I also feel like that. It's just that you having the beers and I'm having some Jerusalem polluted water. But other than that, we pretty much equal. Because that is the overwhelming response and feeling that we got, and I got as well, that you're just such a real person, and you're not doing this for the accolades and for the praise and for the and everything, and you do so many things to your own detriment that I just want to say that it's, you know, without praising you too much and you become big-headed, but I feel so privileged to be part of a group that you started, and now because we are friends on Facebook and hopefully friends in real life as well, I just want to say that I'm really proud to know you and to be a friend of yours. So thanks, Jeff, and you don't have to respond to that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually very proud to be part of you guys. You know, like the whole group. In fact, I mean, you know, like last night I started that campfire event. Well, Ben started it for us, that campfire event.
Oh, you're telling jokes around the campfire. Gee, that's really.
I think it's brilliant. You know, it's like sitting around the campfire now. People must like record themselves, post stuff. You want to sing. You want to tell jokes. You know. You want to plot kak, because that we can't on the radio, because it's not a Afrikaans radio station. You know?
That's just. But kak is just another word for manure.
Yeah, exactly. You know. And just have fun, you know, get to know each other. That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, so that's true, because the picture and I could actually smell the wood burning and feel that atmosphere that you don't get anywhere else except around the campfire, and you all talk nonsense and you laugh and you joke, and as the clippies and coke and the beers flow and the conversation gets a little bit rougher and rougher, and the fire starts to die down, and everybody moves in closer for the warmth of the fire, and also to make sure that the fire is there so the lions don't come and eat you while you're talking while you're camping. But that is such a good idea, and it made me so homesick for South Africa that. I could almost. It was almost painful. So that's a good idea, and people should participate in that. And you don't have to be funny or think. Just telling a story, because around a campfire, everything is funny. Everything is funny.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it. It's like whatever you want to do, they do. You know. It's, I mean, like yesterday morning, I didn't want to brush my hair.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fine. I didn't brush it. I took a picture, put it up.
Yeah, no, I noticed that, and I thought perhaps you had stuck your finger in an electrical outlet. But yeah, so that's another good idea, another good innovation, and another thing that's going to unite the JODE van South Africa, the Jews of South Africa, and make us feel at home. Because I as we discussed last week, I and many others have this such an unbelievable pull towards South Africa and the South African life, and because no matter where here in Israel you build a fire, it is never a South African campfire.
For sure not. I mean, we used to go every weekend. We used to be at the Vaal River, and that was the best times of my life. You know, at night we used to light a big campfire. Everybody from the campsite used to come sit around there. There's a guy who used to come play the guitar and sing and jokes, and we used to have a few, you know, drinks on the side, and you know, it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, do I miss that. tremendously. So all these innovations that you are thinking of just makes my life much more miserable. Thank you very much indeed. But jokes aside, that is such a clever idea. Another clever idea. And we just got a part of a chat in here. Beverly Devimos, how do you like that? I've been practicing Devimos because I've said everything except Devimos for the last couple of weeks. She wrote in here, laugh out loud. So I'm not sure if she was laughing with us or at you at your singing lesson, but I'm proud of you. Another thing that seemed to come forward is about you in the comments, which I was very impressed about, because I felt this as well. Is that you make a big effort to be Netta Oki of Netta Boyki or just one of the guys and so on, but you're not really, because you have shown something else that nobody did, and the first is always the best. But I think that what has emerged is that you actually are one of the boys, you are one of the guys, and you don't regard yourself really as a figurehead or somebody sitting up there and just being in charge and chucking people off the site and so on. And I know that some people, perhaps you would call them enemies or whatever, because there's no opposition, have made you out to be almost like a prima donna, but there's not even a hair on your head or on your uncombed head this morning that even suggests that. So you are really one of the boykies, and that's what I think has endeared you even further to the listeners out there.
One of the funniest comments that I saw from one of the other groups was me being called a thug and a bully. And I looked at that, I thought, you know what, you can call me a thug, but definitely not a bully.
No, absolutely not. Well, how would you bully me anyway, because you can't even reach my knee? No, but you see, those are words that are used that are emotive, because thug gives you that impression that, just down and out bad guy. So those are just words used to criticize you, to try and get at you. But I can tell you now that forget it. And if I do read that or come across that, I will. In fact, my first reaction would be just to fight it and destroy the person who said that. But I think that they're best just left ignored.
Listen, I'd say each to their own. I've got no issues with anyone, and good luck to. As long as they're doing good, I'm happy. That's basically what it's about.
Yeah, that's quite correct. Now, just going back to, we were looking at your photographs and so on. You didn't mention much about your childhood, but I saw you there dressed in one fantastic suit where you looked so spiffed up. I wasn't sure where you were going, and you looked a little bit unsure of where you were going as well. But it seemed in the photographs you had a very solid, happy upbringing, if I can use that word. Is that so? You growing up as a person, was it as nice and relaxing and in the country as the photographs seem to show?
For sure. You know what? For every Chag, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, my grandfather lived in Windberg, and he wasn't a rabbi, but he was like the chazan of the shul. They didn't really have the shul was only open for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and that. So we used to go there for every Chag, and in that picture I was actually on my way. We were on our way to shul, and it was actually, it was beautiful. Like, people used to come from Welkom, all the surrounding towns, to the shul. It was a very closed community there, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the picture showed that, and I'm pleased for that. And then we've got a couple of photographs of you when you became a breker, and were always surrounded by friends and on the beach and on ships and surrounded by girls and boys and other various people of that nature. And was that also a true depiction of how your teen years went, going up till the time perhaps that you went to the army and just shortly thereafter? Do those pictures show the true story of your life at that period of your life?
Definitely. I mean, I was a big party animal. I was always not mostly like, I wouldn't say mostly like clubbing all the time, but I just loved going out and doing things.
Yeah.
Being with people.
Yeah, that is great. I almost shared a sort of a history with you because I also had that type of upbringing and we went through the same kind of thing, although I wasn't tiny and all gebreke and all big and strong or small and strong like you, because I was always a little bit on the overweight side, like 40 or 50 kilograms. But seeing your pictures just brought back so many childhood and teenage memories that it is truly wonderful. And we did have a fair reaction to the story of you or of another Nathan's parents being mistaken for, or the teacher mistaking them for your parents, and that was pretty good. So, and it also says how badly behaved you were at school, and I kind of appreciate that as well. I love that. Now, so that takes care of that. We're not going to talk, as we said last week, about your army training. And now there was just someone asked a query about you mentioned the youth program,
yes,
but you didn't give us as many details as people would like to have got, because they live in South Africa and they've got children who they think might fall into that category, and they'd like their children to be involved. So just give us a little bit of meat on the bones of that statement.
Okay, all right. What we want to do there is to get the students or the youth to come to the Sandringham Gardens. We need to work out when and how we can do it. Maybe meeting like in the coffee shop there and finding out who's who, and sitting with them, having coffee, talking to them, getting their stories, getting to know them, getting the history, what they went through, where they came from, and then these students can write articles on them, put them up for us on the group, and just get more involved with helping them there.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So it's going to be a fun activity, and it's going to be educational. To a certain extent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We can even ask them for old pictures of theirs and put up the pictures. And what's also important though is that people can communicate with them from overseas. That if you want to write to someone there, that you can send a message and the student will be there to read it for them and to reply to you for them.
Okay, no, that is absolutely fantastic. So there is just a point while we're on Sandringham Gardens. The next coffee deal, you call it the coffee club, do you?
Yeah.
I think that the best bet for everybody, because I think the next one is on the Sunday the 11th.
Sunday, yes.
Sunday
right,
the 11th of March, 9:30 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't left by 12, then you just get thrown out. I think that the best bet for that would be to contact Tammy.
Yes,
because otherwise you're going to be inundated with calls, and she's a woman, so she can multitask and take all these calls and still be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and do everything like that. So, are you going to be involved in this particular one, Jeff?
Yeah, I will be there. I'll be at all of them, but Tammy's doing all the organising for it.
Okay, so anybody can, because I know that she needs a lot more volunteers, and she's inviting people. I think there is. I'm not sure if there's an event an eventing on the wall, But if anybody wants to pop in there, feel free, join in. Bring with a kosher cake, and that will get shared with the residents. And unless Colin Levin gets there, then it will be shared with Colin Levin only. But because he's a bit of a glutton, I believe. And so take with a kosher cake or 2 or 3 or 4, and just pop in there and
I think also this time we're going to try to get some of the people to actually come sit with us. Let them come join us.
Now, the people that you said, that the people that
live there,
that come up, that live there.
Yeah.
All right. So the residents. Oh, yes. So it'll be like a one big family. So it is in the Nosh Bar, there at Sandringham Gardens. Where does one find the Nosh Bar?
It's on I think it's the second floor, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle section, the middle building. I think it's the second floor that it's on. It's actually really nice. It's got a beautiful garden. It's got a nice fish pond there that's got a sign, "Please don't feed the fish." I'm still actually looking for the fish.
No, well, I think the sign meant to say, "Please don't feed on the fish," and they left off the on, so somebody took them out and ate them. But all right. So, but everybody will know where the Nosh Bar is. Any of the staff, any of the residents will know where the Nosh Bar is. They'll direct the people to there. And Beverly DeVimus again is nagging me to say it's 9:30 to noon, but I've said it 4 times already, so I don't know what she's on about. All right. So that covers that. Okay. Now, is there anything that you would like to add that you forgot to tell us, or perhaps you lied about last week and you'd like to correct it this week? Is there anything you'd like to add, to say to the group? I
was thinking, what I would like to do is if people can start giving us some feedback on the flea market we want to start there. If people are interested in putting up stalls, what kind of stalls they would like to put up.
Okay.
Some suggestions on how to go with it.
Have you posted anything on the page about it?
I actually haven't yet. I will post.
Okay, so maybe you can just give us a minute or two about the aims and what it's going to be and how the mechanics will work, and then that'll be like a precursor to you putting up something on the page, and then people can already start to think about it and consider, like, for example, does it have to be home industry, or can it be anything you feel like, or that type of thing?
Well, I'm thinking more of it can be like anything, like, first of all, like, Jewish foods, obviously it would have to be kosher.
Yeah.
Then maybe some crafts, any homemade stuff, whatever people have got and want to put there, basically, but the whole idea is to actually get the whole vibe going there, that we even want to run the radio live while we're there, with you on it, we'll have loudspeakers there with the music playing, with you talking. People could send messages from overseas to there. Maybe you can relay the messages to the people walking around.
Oh, that'll be really, really great. And so it will be almost like a carnival atmosphere, and I presume that the opening, the first day, will be really spectacular.
Yes, and we want to put up things for children, like jumping castles or whatever, that the children can have fun there also.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think I'm going to make an effort to get there. So when is the opening, more or less?
Well, I don't know. You see, we've got to work this all out, and when it is best to start it, and I need to just make sure the have exactly where we can do it and when suits them, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's really great. So because as I said, I think I'm going to try and get there, and so if I start walking, say in a week's time, as soon as the flu leaves me, if I start walking, then I should be there for the opening. And if I'm not there, would you hold it back for a day or two, and see if?
Sure.
Okay, so that I get there, and then perhaps I need a day or two to rest, and then I'll be ready for the opening. That'll be really great. Now, I was supposed to have a surprise guest with me that was going to reveal all, and it was a voice from your past, Sean Nathan, but he couldn't make it because his wife is as pregnant as a woman can be without actually delivering the baby, and so he's got all that to cover, and 2 other children to look after, and his mother-in-law is not well, and I hope she gets better soon. So he couldn't, because I was going to ask him to ask you a few tricky little questions. But what we'll do is, when things have sorted themselves out, we'll have you back again, and in no time we'll think of questions that will really get tough, because I'm going to make it tougher and tougher for you, till in the end everybody is not so much in love with you, and maybe loves me even more. Now,
I actually
carry
posted a picture to Sean this afternoon of Malaguena Flats in Victory Park, where he used to live, the townhouses.
Oh.
And it's quite amazing because, the Khama actually asked me, what is it? So it's actually 2 things. It's, firstly, it's where Sean grew up. And secondly, that's where I had the accident, my motorbike accident on that corner.
He did in fact mention that, where you came zooming around the corner at your usual speed. And we're not sure what happened, but we all know that your leg was in a very bad state.
Yeah, I was about 9 months in plaster from it.
Yeah. All right.
But, it was like, like Sean said, the amazing thing was that there's about 10 doctors there.
Yeah. And if there was anything wrong with your eyes, Sean's late dad could have just checked your eyes out quickly while you were lying there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really great. So now, but unfortunately, he couldn't make it in. And in fact, I just got a message on my phone to say that he's leaving now, but I'm not sure from where he's leaving, or maybe he's leaving the radio station. I'm not 100% sure about that. But Jeff, I know that you are extremely busy, and once again, thank you very much for giving your time and for making this so easy and so relaxed, and I really enjoy it, and I intend to have you back, and as soon as we've got our little technical story sorted out, I hope that you agree to co-hosting a couple of shows with me if you find the time and so on, and then we can co-host, and then people can speak to you direct, and then we'll have a lot more fun. So thanks once again, and I think that as a like a community service, something for the JODE van South Africa, could you please say goodbye nicely and then finish with your magnificent song?
Which song?
Oh, well, we'll do the donkey, because we've been practicing and practicing. Let's not waste all that practice.
Okay. Well, special thanks to all you guys, really. I mean, it's amazing what you guys have done. And to everyone on the group. And we will chat soon. Wordy donkey, savannah lekkerding. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for being the person that you are, and we'll speak very soon. Goodbye.
Cool, man. Take care. Ciao, man.
Bye. That was our Jeff, and we had again a bit of a sticky start, as we were highly professional, and you heard everything. Now we are going to attempt to contact my friend and everybody's friend, Colin Levin, and also I was a fellow inmate with him in a unfortunate incarceration period, and I also spent a fair bit of time in a mental institution, which was very fun. So we're going to feature Colin also on a couple of shows, but I just needed to speak to him now and to warn him that when I do get hold of him, that he doesn't go berserk. So I'm going to set out the parameters now and control. So we're going to play a little music, and in the background you'll hear us trying to get hold of Die Snor, Colin Levin.
dink hulle is vry. Die wolke wentel in die hemel, maar op die winde moet al ry. Dis vroeg in die dag, op Louwbergse strand, die wind gaan nog waai, die son gaan nog brand, maar dis koel na die lang nag, en ons groet die dag. Goeiemôre my sonskyn, goeiemôre my kind. Kom ons stap langs die strand, kom ons ry op die wind. Die son sal ons groei, en die strale sal brand. Maar dis vroeg in die dag.
Good afternoon to you, sir. May I be so bold as to ask to whom do I converse?
Van der Merwe's butchery and crematorium. What else?
Okay, that's a relief because I was trying to phone a fellow by the name of Colin Levin, but I was afraid.
Mr. Ballen, this Ekdi. Hello.
Yeah. Oh well, thank you very much for popping in and for making yourself available. We intend to, you amongst other members of the JODE from South Africa, to feature you on a show and not to interview but to chat with you like we chatted with Jeff, and we chatted just now with Jeff, but you obviously didn't hear it because you're out getting drunk at some function or the other. But
absolutely, unfortunately, commitment to kids and things. I'm running around, but I'm so glad to hear you. I'm very glad to participate.
Yeah, well, but I'd just like to mention that you are on live, and there are children listening to this particular program, and we are censored by the censorship board. Now, I mentioned in the build-up to speaking to you that we spent several periods together in an unfortunate incarceration in a correctional facility, and then we both went together to the mental correctional facility. Now, I've noticed in all your posts and so on, besides the fact that they're absolutely insane, first of all, where did you learn to speak Colonese?
Chief, this is something that goes on in my head all the time. Just like Balinese is Colonese. It never stops. You speak to James Watsky, exactly the same story. It's just something that has to flow. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
No idea why. It just comes out.
So it's out of control, basically.
No, the medication kicks in now and again, you know. Lots of sugar, lots of lollipops, lots of caffeine, and keep it together. But, you know, and then, of course, having DJVSA as an outlet is incredibly cathartic help, you know. Having you guys out there is wonderful. I can just live. I can get fit. I can say whatever I want.
Oh, that is marvelous and very moving, and I'm sure that the people are listening are enthralled by what you say. Now, we need to just sort of establish certain parameters. When I do put you on air, and we're going to have an hour special with you, first of all, I think that I must mention that you shouldn't mention really any details about the way we met and how we spent some years together, and we shared a cell, and it wasn't a cell phone. But and also you must keep it clean, and you must try and speak in concise English, so that because the majority of the listeners don't understand Balinese, Colonese, and all these fancy languages. So, are you prepared to stick with the rules, or are you going to go berserk?
Well, that's going to depend very much on you, Mr. Ballen. You know, we all told the people about our unfortunate incarceration together, that little period in Groendakkies, Blauwdakkies. That whole number is a bit of a blank in my life. You're going to have to help me and remind me about some of those issues. But I certainly remember some of the nail-biting times we shared together. And if we do have a long show, then we'll share it to the public. We'll let our public know. And of course, we'll have to keep a bit of a camp on it. You can't let go entirely. This is after all public, and then you see the kids listening. But I think we'll manage.
Yeah, this is great because a lot of people have asked to have asked for me to get you on to chat because you're a kind of a fascinating a character in as far as you look all rough and gruff and you say the most incredible things to your clients and you always got this tough, rough persona, but you're actually a little teddy bear. You're a little teddy bear. You're a softie, just like me. I also like to have this reputation of being tough and rough and ready, but I'm also actually a softie. But some of the things that I've heard you've done, and you won't even admit to them, it's quite incredible. And even the things you've done for me personally, which was such a significant thing in my life, that I think that we all need to know the real Colin behind this rough exterior, and if we can just look beyond the moustache as well, that will help a lot. Have I got it right, or are you still going to pretend to be this big, rough, tough, non-teddy bear?
Well, all you got to do, especially in preparation for today, because I knew that was going to come out, you can all go onto the page, you can all have a look at my new profile picture, and that should tell you something.
Oh, no.
Okay, I had the persona of the construction worker. There was a good reason behind that. We'll talk about it on the future show, but today we're not putting that. Okay, so that should tell you something. I've got a very soft spot for cats, as you all well know.
Yes.
But, Errol, when we first got onto the page, it was Debbie Gordon who actually connected us, believe it or not. Debbie Samar, if you're out there listening, thank you for this connection.
So just a point, she's got a lot to answer for, and I'll deal with her later. All right, carry on.
Of the bent women on the page, she's one of the ones that I love the most because of her bent sense of humor. You know, and she marked us. She put a picture of that guy being put into third-class transport up an elephant's bottom. I don't feel all that.
I do indeed.
A little cartoon. And then Errol Ballen made a bent comment on that, and I thought that can't go unanswered. And I did one of my usuals. I often say to you, Errol Ballen doesn't tell the full truth, and then I fill in your life for you. You know, and you took to that so well, and you just understood it so well. We connected instantly, and that's not with very, very few people in my life can I do that. So yeah, I appreciate that too. You know, it's been a pleasure to do any little thing I can do for you, of course, and for anybody else. But it's two-way street. There's a great connection from your side too.
Yeah, but I must just tell you that all the good work and all the friendship and all the remarks and all the stuff, all the good stuff has come from me, and the mediocre stuff has come from you. So I've helped you a lot in this regard, and I'm sure you appreciate it. But now, even speaking to me now, it must feel absolutely awesome for you, just a construction worker. And by the way, I think that photo came out of the time when you were doing that YMCA song, and you were the construction worker in that particular Village People video. But it must feel so great for you now to be speaking to a superstar like myself, and you just a security expert and a supplier of security to the whole of South Africa. What does it feel like?
It was a very interesting part of the call there, man. The cell phone is coming and going quite indistinctly. Can you repeat that last sentence, please? Yeah,
you see, now this is the kind of thing that makes me believe that you are just a softie. I was saying to you, as a normal construction worker, come normal little security man who just supplies security to everybody and sorts out everybody's security problems at home. What does it feel like for you to talk to a superstar like me?
Geez, Errol, I don't know, man, but all I can think about is I think we need to get you a helmet as a present, because, you must be tripping over your ego all the time and bumping your head, surely.
Yeah, it is, because, I've always remained humble, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Colin,
legend in your own mind, the humble Errol Ballen. We all love you for that, though. You do realize that.
Yes, I know that. And my set of cliquettes on the page all love me, and because you proved to be such a nice man, I'm now going to include you in that, so you won't be a cliquette, but you'll be a recipient of their love and adoration.
Well, thank you. As they say in this neck of the woods, lekker kry ek nou.
Yeah, well, I do my best, you know. So, Colin, thank you very much. I know I spoke to you earlier on, and you've got a terrible or a wonderful day with so many things, and you're running around, and your wife has ditched you and gone to some other establishment and so on. So I do really appreciate this, and I thought that I would just use this as a precursor to us having a chat to you, letting a little bit of the truth out of what you really are about. And I thank you for this, and I thank you for your warmth, your friendship, and very soon I look forward to having a chat to you in the easy chair. And just a point of interest, I have a live chat coming here, and Beverly DeVemus says that you're and then she puts in big capital letters, a big teddy bear. Gee whiz. How did she know? Okay, now we're going to speak to you soon. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you understand how much I appreciate you being you, and we'll speak to you very soon indeed.
It is, Errol. I've had great fun as well. I really enjoyed today, and it's wonderful talking to you publicly. At least the public gets to know that we've got a rapport off screen, wherever we are. We just, we have a natural rapport, and it's fantastic. Hopefully we'll be able to bring that out into a full-on radio show, a full period. We're going to do a bit of Mr. Gus and all the rest of the nonsense as well. And hopefully an ill wind won't blow out of any of the funny windy cities and stop us. We can have free reign on the radio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have great plans for us on radio, and as I've asked Jeff, and I'll ask you as well, if you'd be prepared to, when we have our technical jazz fixed up here, that you could co-host a show or 200 or 300 or 400, and everybody will get to know you and to love you. So Colin, thank you very much indeed. Please give my regards to your wonderful wife and family, and we will speak very soon indeed.
Dankie, thank you. Vroukie, thank you from you as well, and regards to Israel, and keeps us to call, and thanks a lot for everything you do for us, man.
Ja, nee, baie dankie. Dis sal lekker wees, en ek sal vroukie 'n paar swinkies gee.
Dankie.
Right, that was our very own meneer Snor, the Colin Levin, and gee, I appreciate what he does and what he writes, and he's really an incredible character with a sense of humor that, as I said before, can warp a piece of steel. Right, so now we've had Jeff and we've had Colin, and I'm not sure what happened to Sean, but that is something that we'll sort out. I'd just like to mention just a couple of people, because it's on my mind, and I need to say, like Shelley Cohen, for example. Now, she has had a tough recently, but she's a tough woman, and she's a wonderful woman and a warm woman, and I don't know, and also one of those people that I feel so privileged to be in the same group with. Now, the point is that she, every Thursday or Friday or whatever the case is, no matter what is going on in her life, and believe me, it's a lot, she still has the will and the kindness to wish us all a good Shabbos. Now, many people say good Shabbos, especially here in Jerusalem, as you walk around and say, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, a million times. But when she says it, it is with such genuine warmth and such genuine meaning. And she's saying to you, not just have a good Shabbos because she's like saying hello, goodbye, but she's saying to you, have a good Shabbos because she knows, she understands, and she cares about you. So thank you very much. And me and many others really appreciate you as a friend, and you must also know that we are always there for you. Make no mistake about that. We love you, and we thank you. By the way, she makes goat's milk soap. Now, I'm not sure if she takes it directly from the goat and makes it into soap at that particular moment in time, or takes the milk and puts it through a process. but I'm going to certainly myself. I'm going to look on her website, and then I'm going to look how to get hold of some of the soap, and then wash myself in goat's milk soap. And I'm sure that she's put some sort of scent so that you don't actually smell like a goat. You smell like a wonderful thing. So let's find out about that. Another person that I feel I should maybe just mention is old Joe Maynard. Now, I have to say, you can't say Joe Maynard. You've got to say Joe Maynard, because he's the resident Burkie on the group. He even went to King David Victory Park. So obviously that had an effect on him, because his dad sent him there because he wanted him to get the best education, and he felt, and rightly so, that the best education is within amongst the Jews and so on. And Joe just tells stories, and he's so funny, and he's an honorary Jood, because he's not a Jew, but man, is he funny. And there's nothing funnier than Afrikaans humor and Jewish humor, and he's a mixture of both. And his posts delight me, and it is so funny. And I want the whole group, whenever they speak about Joe, they say Joe Maynard, and then so that he knows that we appreciate him, and that we are looking at the moment. He's looking after an estate, and Ed Isaacson's sculptures. He's showing off Ed Isaacson's sculptures, and oh man, they are really good. And anybody who has a couple of spare bucks and can invest in one of those, that's an investment for the future, no doubt about it. And then so dankie Joe Maynard, ons waardeer dit, en ek sal nie Afrikaans praat nie, want niemand kan dit, or amper niemand kan dit verstaan. Now, I would also like to just mention, because we're running out of time, but I'd just like to mention Merrill. Now, Merrill has had a bit of health issues, and not pleasant, but she's come through it, and is well on her way to recovery, and she has a unique way of getting something out of her lungs, where she sits down and takes up the lotus position, and then goes into the fetal position, and stretches her one leg and gets the one leg behind the other one, and it is absolutely quite amazing. But I would just like to say that she's an inspiration to me, because when I've been ill from time to time, I've just lay there feeling sorry for myself. Yet she just comes up with such funny things, and you can just feel the joy jumping out of her. And she is so funny. So Merrill also